Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games.
With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes,
Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZEDGamesAU.
This is Z Games. I'm your host Paul, and joining tonight are, of course, Zahra.
Hello.
And Sea Line.
Meow.
That's where
Sea
we're
Lion?
going.
I'm a sea lion. I don't know why I said meow.
Beautiful. And we'll find the fishiness continues as a theme for tonight as we eat a heaping big barrel of fish.
Yeah.
Live on air. Hope you're all looking
And the
forward
fish
to
are
that.
alive as well.
Yes, yeah, well, they start that way and then one
By
thing
the end of
leads
it,
to the
they're
other.
definitely not.
That's-
You know what I'm
they're
saying?
swimming around in your tum-tum. That's how it works.
What?
You eat a live fish and it swims around in your tum-tum.
No.
That would be the start of some sort of horror film where a society of fish thrive and grow inside a person until...
Wait a minute, Paul. Are we a fishing show?
It's my gut biome.
I don't think
My
we're a
biome
fishing
is
show.
ocean.
What are we, Paul?
We are I can't think of anything. We are a video game show, and I thought I already mentioned it, but anyway, we got off the track, as we're often known to. It's been a fun week in video games. We've had Gamescom has started, opening night live happened. It was interrupted again by another crazy person.
It's always interrupted by a crazy
Yeah,
person.
this
It's
time
like
it
the
was-
most
yeah.
regular thing you can expect.
It was something about GTA 6 and Bill Clinton. I didn't really get the gist of it, but I don't think it's detailed that part of the news. But before we wax on too much about other stuff, let's listen to that news.
Woo.
Nintendo has revealed that Charles Martinet, the original voice actor of Mario, who has played the role since 1991, will be stepping back from recording the character voices for our games, and will now serve as a Mario ambassador. The post continued that, with this transition, he will be stepping back from recording character voices for our games, but he will continue to travel the world, sharing the joy of Mario and interacting with you all. Charles Martinet quote-tweeted the post, adding, "My new adventure begins. You are all number one in my heart. Hashtag woohoo." A recent announcement, first shared by Deadline, revealed that Monomi Park's Slime Rancher games are being adapted into a feature film. The first Slime Rancher, released in 2017, is one of the highest rated games on Steam of all time, with a 98% positive average score, and has sold over 6 million copies across all platforms. In it, you play as Beatrix LeBeau, who moved from Earth to the Far Far Range to become a slime rancher. The second game, currently in early access, also follows Beatrix and features plenty of adorable slimes. It's unlikely we'll get more details on the production anytime soon, but that hasn't stopped excited fans from speculating and celebrating. Early Wednesday morning, we saw the opening ceremony of Gamescom 2023 and were treated to a closer look at some upcoming titles and the announcement of several new games. Here are just a few of the highlights. Bandai Namco's Little Nightmares series is getting a third installment sometime in 2024. It will feature 2 characters and will be a cooperative game with online multiplayer. The developers came on stage to also reveal The Sounds of Nightmares, a narrative podcast series based on the world, which is available now. We got a closer look at Black Myth Wukong in a new trailer featuring gorgeous visuals and intense gameplay. It will be releasing sometime next year. There was the announcement of Dustborn, coming to PS4 and PS5 in early 2024. It looks like a colourful road trip through Americana, and in it you'll use the power of words to shape relationships with your crew, get out of trouble, and reach your final destination. We saw a trailer for Diablo 4 Season of Blood, a vampiric expansion dropping in October, promising a new questline, vampiric powers, and 5 additional endgame bosses. We also got a trailer for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, showing off the numerous features that will be added to the game, such as vehicle combat, overhauled combat AI, and a new district. We also have some upcoming game releases. On August 25th, Armored Core 4, Fires of Rubicon, is coming to PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, and Xbox One. And on August 29th, we have 3 games. Goodbye Volcano High, coming to PS5, PS4, and PC. Sea of Stars coming to PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One and Switch, and Samba de Amigo Party Central coming to Switch. And that's all this week in gaming news.
Samba de Amigo!
Oh, mamma mia!
That's the wrong nationality. Mamma mia! It's a Samba de Amigo! Yeah. Samba de... I mean, I think they're doing it in VR as well. I want the VR version because I love my maraca games. Don't we all? Shiki.
I want real maracas.
You're not getting real maracas as
had
long
real ones
as
in Dreamcast.
just play more. What is it? Tears of the Kingdom and find more Koroks. Unless you already found them all.
I did not because I got sick of having to take them to their friends.
Well, there you go.
I wasn't really into the Korok torture that much.
Well,
it's poop.
How else do you expect to play with maracas? Come on, Caroline.
Maracas are cheap and readily available, Zahra.
Yeah, but I don't want actual maracas. I live in the same home.
You can get
Shika.
just play some more Trombone Hero. Anyway, Mario is dead. Long live Mario.
What?
Here's my hot
Mario.
take.
He dead.
I actually don't care about Charles Mario.
I mean,
honestly, me neither.
He's got a place in my heart as like the voice of Mario, but also like
he's fine.
How often do I really talk about Mario on this show?
I mean,
Mamma mia, quite often.
We do talk about Mario quite often, but his voice is, whilst has become a bit iconic with It's a Mia, it has been other things, including Mr. Boring Chris Pratt.
I was going to say, as long as they don't hire him to take over.
I did just spoonerize his name and say Chris Pratt.
I don't think we need to worry about
he's
that.
He's a crisp rat.
If only Bob Hoskins was still around, that would be my pick. But yeah,
how long had he been voicing? Like how
Charles?
long? Yeah, like
30 years or something since Mario 64.
Yeah, 30 years is a long time to do anything.
Yeah, and he doesn't just do Mario. He does half of the main suite there. Like here, Waluigi's Luigi, and I think he does Wario as well.
Yeah, but
should we be sad that Wario and Waluigi don't have their voice actors?
I mean,
because
you literally could get any schmuck off the street and they'll land a Waluigi impression.
Nintendo, hire me for Waluigi.
Yeah. Look, if they want to continue the sound, well, one, they could license his voice and AI, but also they could just get some other take on it. It's fine. I like new things.
It would be fun. It would imagine the chaos of announcing a new Mario voice. I just remember what happened when Chris
it's ruined now.
Chris Pratt
was announced initially as the voice of Mario for the movie. Imagine all that, but now this is the video game Mario voice.
But also remember this: even with all the things online, at the end of the day, nobody cared.
Yes,
the movie did absolute gangbusters, and it was fine.
Yeah, but I kind of want to see the 2-hour-long video essays.
Idris Elba as Mario.
He's too busy voicing Knuckles. Anyway.
He's too busy being Yoshi. This is Zed Games. I'm his Paul, and joining me is Zahra and Caroline.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, you two.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Oh, hi, Paul.
You know what I'm in the mood for?
What?
Death. Destruction.
It's time for Zahra to make a review for us. It's going to have some puzzles in it, I'm sure.
Let's go solve some puzzles.
Review. Wow. Review.
Game Escape Academy. Platforms. PC, Xboxes, PlayStations. Developed by Coin Crew Games. Have either of you done an escape room before?
Yes.
Many times.
Yes, okay. I know for a fact that you have. I am not surprised that you have, Paul.
I'm a giant adventure gaming nerd.
I mean, yeah, look, yes.
You have the thing in your pocket and you rub it on another thing to combine it. That's how escape rooms work, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Like fried chicken on a piece of paper.
Yeah, you just sort of wrangle a group of people, you get locked together in a room, and you use the clues and puzzles in that room, and you try to escape before time runs out. I think it's pretty thrilling.
I think it's pretty good. I had an idea for an escape room, a dinner escape room,
Ooh.
where you don't get to, you have to unlock your food.
You have to unlock your food.
So if you're really terrible, you're going to get terrible cold food.
What if you're the type who gets really hangry and you just start like chewing?
That's just
at
the drama
lots.
that's needed to get in, isn't it? Anyway, this video game.
Yes. I've done a whole bunch of escape rooms with various themes, with different groups, locations, and so on. And some of them had, some of them were like a lot easier than others, just solution after solution after solution. And a few of them not as easy, and really came down to like the last 30 seconds where it's just like, oh my gosh, is this a heist movie?
Yes.
And it's just, there's nothing else quite like it. Like, listeners, imagine this. You and 3 friends have paid strangers to lock you in a room, which always looks like something out of a hidden object game. You're surrounded by set, props, story around you. You and your friends have to solve a series of puzzles in order to escape. Generally, you get a limited number of hints. There's often some acting involved, maybe even a jump scare. Perhaps your group will fall apart only to come together again in the last 10 minutes. Maybe the friend who insisted they weren't going to be helpful has that really niche bit of info you needed. No 2 games are ever the same. It's one of my favourite group activities, but like tabletop RPGs, it's difficult getting a group together, especially if not everyone enjoys the stress that comes with it. And one-person escape rooms aren't really a thing. Most of them are designed for 3 people, minimum.
Really?
Yes.
You can go in, but it's
You're not going to...
there's just often too many things to do.
Yeah, because you usually only get like an hour, and you know how many puzzles you have to solve as a group.
At least 3.
Yes. It's a lot. But that's okay, because I came across Escape Academy, and that's just changed the scene for me. It's a first-person puzzle game. Escape Academy brings you to the academy where students undergo specialized training to become an escape room master. You're a bit of a rookie, and your rival is something of an escapist prodigy, but Escape Academy hits the balance between challenging, feeling challenged, not getting too stuck, and a fairly satisfying sense of progression. In short, I think it might be one of my favorite games this season. It's largely 3D, stylized with 2D sprites for characters, adding a visual novel element to this complex game. Now, the gameplay cycle is pretty much the same. You get put in a room, or building, or area, and you are given the task to escape. You must find the first obstacle, then find the first puzzle, and then solve that puzzle. And you need to do it quickly. And you often end up trying to escape a room that is flooding, or on fire, or under fire. Each room has a limited amount of time to escape. If you escape during that time, you get a great score. The quicker you escape, using the fewest hints, the better your score. What happens if you don't escape in time? It's fine. The game gives you some options that don't feel punishing, but it's a compromise.
Wait, you don't die or drown?
We'll get to there.
Ooh.
I haven't experienced my progress being stopped, but I never failed one of the rooms that has a life or death situation happening. So maybe, if you die in the game, you die in real life. But I think it's more of a case of you have a bad score, but you can keep playing.
Often if you die in real life, you often lose the game you're playing as well. So it works both ways.
Yes. You can access hints, which brings up a visual clue and perhaps a prompt to go with it. If you're solving puzzles out of intended order, however, the hints might not be the most helpful. There were a couple of times where the hints were helping me with a different puzzle to the one I was actively working on, and it was a little frustrating. As you solve rooms, you gain tokens, both informal in the form of souvenirs for your dorm, but also formal, in the form of a stained glass-like tablet that tracks your progress towards graduation. And you also gain special missions as you prove yourself to your teachers and the headmistress. The first special mission: help the headmistress break an escapist out of a military ship. It was a lot.
Alright.
It was a lot. The puzzles given don't seem to repeat between rooms, and I am constantly met with a series of unique puzzles and obstacles for me to figure out. Keep in mind that I've not yet finished the game. Each room is themed after your usual classes, such as art, which involves statues, paint, and even art conservation tools, which can be a lot of fun when anticipating a room.
Did you say paint or pain?
Paint.
Okay.
Painful pain.
All right.
I said pain both times then. I meant painful
The
pain.
paint can be quite painful.
Yes.
If ingested.
If you get it in your eyes.
The theme in the room can be a lot of fun when you're anticipating a room, or even when just appreciating how they managed to make the puzzles fit the room. Types of puzzles include logic puzzles, wordplay, ciphers, x-rays, maths, color theory, and ones I just guessed at. Which happens. Can't solve them all, I guess. Except, I did, I just don't know how. Now, there is voice acting in this game, and it's pretty minimal, similar to how in visual novel games, characters often say a line of dialogue out of a pack.
Aha! What? What?
What?
Ha!
Aha!
Take that!
Thanks you two, thanks.
You're welcome.
It's not bad, it's not great, I'm kind of really indifferent about the whole sound experience. It's characters trying to tell me a story, I guess. I'm focusing on the puzzles. The music fits the room, with the more hectic rooms stressing me out audibly, and the calmer rooms being more relaxing. There are a lot of sound effects giving you feedback when you solve a puzzle, when the room evolves further, or if a character just wants to be sassy. In conclusion, I like puzzles. I like escape rooms. I like winning. And for all those reasons, I love Escape Academy. There is a story developing which quickly grows out of hand and escalates in all sorts of ways, but the number, creativity, theming, and execution of the escape rooms and the puzzles have been enriching. It's an easy recommendation for anyone looking for an escape room for one person.
Okay. So, one person. So you never played it co-op?
No, and I kind of thought about it, and then I thought, no one else. Part of the theme of me picking up Escape Academy in the first place.
Because you didn't have people to escape with.
Yes, exactly.
I'd escape with you.
Oh.
But do you have time to?
Theoretically.
Depending on the day.
Yeah. So I was playing Escape Simulator, which is a very similar concept, except it is they have no story. And it's really focused on multiplayer for 3 players, but you can put in more. And it has a beautiful, the one thing you always want in a co-op game is the ability to just mess with the other people in there. So when you try to do it, the first thing we do is just tear the room apart, and everyone picks up stuff, put it in their inventory. So you might just take a key and slide it away.
Yeah.
But also you can show people, so if you've got something that everyone has to look at, you can hold it out in your hands and everyone can look at it and stuff like that. But again, and I'd say that game has a lot more content because it also has workshop access. People make their own stuff and daily things and everything. But it has more repeated content because of that. But I was interested in Escape Academy because if I want to do that, it's more of a single person with a story. But I didn't care about the story.
I mean, I know there's a story happening, and the story it kind of feels like, when you're going into a haunted house at the fair or something,
never been to a
and the actors are like, ooh, it's the scariest place to be, and you sort of play along.
Watch out for the bats on the strings.
And you're kind of like, oh, so scary.
What I can't get over is your escape room rival.
Well, who
is great at puzzles.
Well, I'm also great at puzzles. That's kind of this is a whole...
People actually compete in these things.
Yeah.
Puzzle rival senpai, who is so good at puzzles.
Hey, no, look, no. This puzzle rival of mine is no senpai of mine. I do not look up to this person. I do not respect this person. I don't even remember this person's name because I don't care. The story... It's a backdrop.
It's there. It's serviceable.
It's there. It's just to set the scene. So you're like, oh my goodness, I'm on a military ship or something, and there's turrets and stuff. It's just setting stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, puzzles.
It's just on a military ship. That brings us to. Hey, sailor! Hey! That was the end. This is Z Games. I'm your host Paul, and joining me are Caroline and Zahra.
Hello.
It's been a lovely evening so far. I hope you've been enjoying yourselves. But this is what we call the third segment, and you know what that means.
Chaos.
I'm just going to sing softly this time. Just like that.
Let's make
A review. It's time for a review. Hey, good stuff. I'm going to bring up a little background music for myself. We are going to talk about the just released game Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. This is by a developer that I quite liked, Deconstruct Team, who last did Red Strings Club and Essays on Empathy, which little adventure games, very sort of VN focused. And way back they started with Gods Will Be Watching, which was really, really interesting pixel style and was really, really brutal. So this game, I didn't actually know it was them when I first saw it, and I read the name, Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, and I'm like, ha! I can see a whole bunch of like Zodiac-y tarot reading stuff here. I might find this infuriatingly naff. No. If you're thinking this is like some hippy-dippy game, you're half right, and then you are deadly, deadly wrong. You play a character called Fortuna, who is a witch in space, because witches live in space. You are originally a human, but not everyone in this game is. And you, back in your human life, transcended and became a witch. So witches are almost some sort of god. Your ability is divination. And at some point, you divined that your coven was going to be destroyed at a certain time. And the leader of your coven saw this as a threat and banished you into exile for 1,000 years. This game starts 200 years into that 1,000 years, where you have gone quite mad, because being alone for hundreds of years is quite hard. And the starting off premise is that to help get yourself out of this, you need some power. So you raise Behemoth, which is kind of a demon, kind of a genie, but either way, ancient forbidden magic. So most of the game is set in this little apartment that you've been exiled into, with a giant monster outside that you're communicating with.
Hell yeah.
And eventually with lots of people that come and visit you. Aww. And then some vignettes in other areas as well. But their other games have been quite concise, sort of like 3 to 4 hour experiences at most, sort of thing. I'm not sure the actual timeline that this clocked in at, but I feel much closer to 10 or more. It's a really, really meaty game. And it also has quite a lot of reason to replay. And if you are wanting to replay, you have to replay the whole thing, because they allow no manual saves. They're just
my gosh.
Nope. Every choice you make is final. Any risk you take is final.
No
go,
saves
go, go.
How long does a run take?
I said it took about 8 to 10 hours.
Okay.
But I also wouldn't say it's a game you want to be blasting through and then doing again, because it's heavy. It starts well enough, you're feeling a bit annoyed. And then eventually, the world opens up. You start sort of understanding your relationships and your past. And they bring in lots of ethical questions about how society should run. At one point, it becomes, in some way, a political simulator. But also space witches. And the big thing in the game, other than conversation, is your divination. Now, you had your tarot deck taken away from you when you were exiled. So in this case, you have been given the ability to make your own tarot deck. So you start with a whole bunch of elements, but eventually you'll gather elements from other people and from doing different things. And you will design each card, balancing the elements however you want. And then when you're talking to people, you do readings for them. And whatever cards get pulled will then give you the options that you can respond with. And there is a big... the nature of this changes a few times throughout the game, but it's actually really important. The game starts with you making giant decisions that will affect the entire game, and they will hang over your head the entire time. I played the game ruthlessly, and it was really confronting, some of the things I got to do.
Was there a point where you sort of went, kind of wish I took a slightly different approach?
Nah. Only that I wanted to explore some other things. It's a very adult game. Like, they very explicitly discuss sex and violence. It's the issues of cannibalism and genocide will raise in this game. It does have a very nice on the front screen. It does my favorite kind of content warning, which is you can just go down and select it. So it doesn't tell you what you're going to encounter. But if you have sensitivities, it'll have there. But it's very maturely written. And the team is only 3 people. I didn't realize the Deconstruct team was that small. just a very small team. I needed some questions. I went on the Discord and asked them. They're all very friendly.
I love that.
But yeah, great sound in the background. It really took me in. The world is really unique. It's touching on a whole bunch of different mythos, but as far as I'm aware, none actual specific ones. Integrates a lot of things. It's a personal story. It's confronting. It's certainly, I feel like I'm really going to go in with a different angle. I'm not going to be less ruthless my second time. I'm just going to be ruthless in a different way with different priorities.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has stuck with me, and it stuck with me the whole time I was playing it. Each time it would expand the possibilities of the game, because I thought it was just a small game. And the more it did, I was constantly impressed and constantly wowed and constantly just having ideas put in my mind. I keep wanting to say some of them. I'm like, no. But yes, a very impressive package. Pretty pixel art, great soundtrack. I highly recommend, if you're into story-based games, checking out the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood.
Wheel.
Cosmic
Wheel.
Sisterhood.
Yeah, something like that.
I played the demo and it was really good.
Oh yeah. The demo is really just like the first scene where you make some of those big decisions.
I was like, whoa, wow. Up front, like right at the beginning.
Yep.
Big choices.
Yep. And I love the designs of like the behemoth that comes up and everything. I recommend having a look at it because they got a great style for it. We are Z Games. I am Paul, and joining me are two other people with the name of
Zahra.
Caroline.
That's correct.
Huzzah.
Good following that cue there. Good times.
We won.
Now, as we wind down today, slowly getting down there, I've got a new special segment I thought I'd try out.
Okay.
Paul, lowers your expectations. Cool. Okay. Today's episode, Baldur's Gate 3. Now, don't worry. I'm not going to rain on anyone's parade. I've just got two tips for the normals out there. So Baldur's Gate 3 is winning awards and being rated as one of the best games of all time, and it's huge and it's magnificent and it's wonderful, and it is. But two things I want to remind you of. It is praised because of you can do so many things, so much more than any other video game, so many unexpected things. Still doesn't mean you can do anything. It's still a video game. There's lots of video game restrictions. Two, if you don't know how to play D&D, it is not interested in teaching you. So just come in gently. Those two things out of the way. Really, really, really good game. And that sums up Paul lowers your expectations. Okay.
Is this how you're sneaking in like micro reviews to like boost your numbers?
No. That certainly doesn't go. God, I am so early in Baldur's Gate 3. If I pretended to even give like a soft review, I should be like thrown in a ditch or something.
That can be arranged.
I do like ditches. Have you ever slept in a ditch?
No.
Have you?
Because I don't hate myself that much.
Oh gosh, I love outdoor sleeping. Sometimes you just find wherever you can crawl up. I was having a little nap at a wedding earlier this year, just on the ground behind a tree, and people were very worried about me, but I was just sleepy.
No, I prefer to like fall asleep on concrete floors.
See, ditches have all sorts of soft things in them.
Yeah.
I worry
Dead
for the two of
bodies.
you. I worry for the two of you sometimes.
Concrete's so good, you lie in it flat and your back just sort of cracks.
I've got some good back cracking moves if you need any.
I probably do.
Yeah. One the person sits in front of you and you put your feet on their hips and they put their arms around your neck and then you just pull them up and stretch their back out.
Oh, I know that one. Yes.
It's
Yes.
fun. And that's what you come to Z Games for discussions of back cracking techniques, which I'm
Which
sure
is
are all medically valid.
relevant because posture is bad posture is a chronic problem.
Oh yeah, that's
within
why my
our
back
community.
is so bad because
Yes.
I hunch over like a prawn when I play video games.
Listeners at home, prawn check. All right, straighten up your backs.
Are y'all prawning?
Prawn check?
Stop it.
prawn? Because you know when you're like
Prawn. Y'all can't see,
but
listeners.
we're in
because
prawn
you're listening.
stance.
Yeah.
This is a young person thing.
It's not that young.
I've never prawned in my life.
You've definitely prawned before, and you will prawn again, Paul.
No.
I know you saw it.
I've got my wrist brace on because of my wrist is unusable these days, and it has nothing to do with gaming. It has to do with children.
Oh,
You with your shrimps in your RSI, and honestly,
Yeah.
I find it all quite disgusting. So
The way our body degrades.
Yes.
Remember to do
Yes.
your wrist stretches, everybody.
Yeah.
that's right. Actually, there was a bunch of stuff that was. Hey, you know, at opening night live, there was a game with the initials ZZZ. So I was like, hey, if they make 3 sequels to that,
That
it could be
could-
the official station game.
Yeah, that could be. I need to go write some emails right now.
Bye.
Dear, who was it?
The Z people.
The Z people.
Yes.
Um,
I don't have time to research on the show now.
No, it's alright. We don't need all the details right now. This is just an email draft. Dear Z people, we're also Z people. We talk about video games. Oh, you do video games. Match made in heaven, I think.
Kissy face.
XXX, circle, winky face. You know, just put that in
Eggplant
there.
emoji.
Sign off. Slayfully yours, Zahra.
It's called Zenless Zone Zero.
Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah, it actually looks pretty rad.
Oh, that sounds awesome, actually.
it might be. Who knows? It was just announced.
Oh my gosh.
We're so off place. It's time for us to leave.
It is actually time for us to
So
leave.
goodbye,
Bye.
our friends. Goodbye. And to take us out tonight, we are going to listen to a track from the unreleased Thirsty Suitors, which is quite the banger. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night!
Thanks for listening to Z Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify.
Or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.